Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Roadrunner.com. Lots to talk about today. I'm meeting with Jenny Moonstone today at 10 o'clock to hash out what's going on with Theta, long-term, short-term, and long-term on Theta. Massive, massive year for Theta. Will blow away the last big moonshot of $15. Don't know about price. Nobody knows about price because it's rigged. But the things that Theta Labs is doing today will shock the world when the news gets out. And wait till NVIDIA comes in partnerships with Theta. Because Theta can pretty much do what NVIDIA does with their 10,000 nodes. What happens if they have 1 million nodes or 1 billion nodes, which is a software download. Anyway, I'll get there in a second. Silver was allowed to go up today. It was obvious. The commercial traders report closed off for the week yesterday, so that's why it was allowed to go today. It is rigged. It is always rigged. It was rigged. It's been rigged since the invention of silver derivatives. This form of silver derivatives since the early 70s on the Comex. These are futures and options. That's how they rig the market. They collude together, which is illegal, and we saw it in the disclosures in the JP Morgan, Citibank, HSBC. All these bankers were talking to each other about how to rig the silver market. Jeffrey Christian doesn't quite understand that. But let's just talk about Jeff Christian real quick. He's coming out with a silver Q&A, which is really cool. Good job, Jeff. The problem is he does the same thing every time when he talks about silver. And that is he'll try to tamp down the excitement. He'll try to say, oh, silver's never been rigged and all that stuff, all the bullshit that he says. But he always gives away little nuggets of truth that completely shoot himself in the foot. He takes a gun, he aims it at his foot, and he shoots it. Here's the latest one. Listen to what Jeff Christian has to say about solar.
Another question was, what are the key items to monitor in 2024? There are about 5,000 of them, maybe. There are fundamental issues. In the silver market, you should be looking at mine production. You should be looking at secondary recovery levels because those fluctuate more sharply. Mine development announcements, issues related to regulatory environment and resource nationalism. We have a couple questions about Mexico and AMLO's desire to ban open pit mining, which is probably a non-event, but we need to monitor it. Fabrication demand, trends in solar power. A lot of bullishness about solar power, but last year the solar panel industry overbuilt by a very large margin the number of solar panels. They bought a lot of silver, they made a lot of solar panels, they installed a lot of solar panels, but they have an enormous inventory that's hanging over that market right now, so they don't need as much silver now as they did last year.
All right, there you have it. So I've been debating with the Silver Institute and Metals Focus, and I said, hey, just using your guys' number, we're looking at least 250 million ounces that were used, just using your historical way you figure out how much silver is used in solar panels. But I've been screaming, there's a massive overbuild in warehouses. Everybody knows about it. So you need to add on an extra chunk of metal. I think it's about 100 million ounces more, which it brings to 350 million ounces. And they're coming up with 180. Jeffrey Christian just threw them under the bus, saying there's a massive... See, the numbers for 2023, Jeff doesn't understand this, have not been solidified. They've not been finalized. The amount of solar that went in has been. It's 445 gigawatts. And then it's pretty easy to factor out how much silver is used per watt. Although the Silver Institute seems to think that they're thrifting silver at a massive pace, which they are not. They haven't been thrifting silver at all in the past 4 years. Why? Because there's no need to. The price of silver has gone down in the past 4 years. There's no need to thrift. So they're not going to give up efficiency to thrift silver out because the price of silver is going down. It's a no-go. If the price of silver doubled or tripled, yes, they could take some silver out of solar panels, but they'll get less efficiency. The opposite has been happening. As a matter of fact, TopCon and the new technologies all use massively more silver. TopCon's at least 25-30% more silver than the PERC, which has been the standard for the last 10 years. And the new technologies have even bigger than that, double the amount of silver. Because the price of silver keeps going down, why not use more silver and get more efficiency? Name me one solar panel sales company, solar manufacturer. Name me one that has thrifted silver out of their offerings, out of the technology that they sell. Name me one solar panel that's pulled silver out and gotten better efficiencies. You would see, wow, that's a home run. You'd see patents about it. You'd see all kinds of things. People building gigantic warehouses to make solar panels with less silver. They are not. They're doing the exact opposite. So the amount of silver that has been thrifted out, according to the Silver Institute, thrifted out means using less, making the printed lines a little skinnier to save on silver. They aren't doing that. They're doing the opposite. They're getting higher efficiencies even out of PERC. So everything in solar is a lie about silver thrifting, and it's only a few people that are promoting that lie. Obviously, the manufacturers want to promote that lie because they need silver. They need more and more silver. Silver paste companies are doubling, tripling in size. But that's not the biggest deal. So, yeah, I think the Silver Institute has a lot. Well, it's not the Silver Institute. Now it's Metals Focus. Silver Institute is two guys, and they both work for a consulting company. It's a shell corporation. Metals Focus is the people who conjure up these numbers. And the amount, the distance they are from reality in solar panels is shocking. They should have been talking about this a year and a half ago. Halfway to 2023, they should have said, oh my God, it looks like we're going to be making 173% more, or 73% more of the 100, almost double the amount of solar panels, which should mean almost double the amount of silver, but they also added a lot of Topcon, which has more silver in it. And the insanity of them saying, they've told me in private, that they're going to have 180 million ounces. They thought I'd be happy with that. From 140 to 180, it's not 180, it's 350. It is shocking. It is shocking about what they're trying to get away with. So there are a lot of people starting to talk about it now. Everybody and their mother, if you know anything about silver, and if you're diving into supply and demand, there's the Silver Academy, which they come up with a lot of good stuff, but they stretch a lot of things, but that's fine. Come up with answers of the good things that they come up with, and they're looking at the Silver Institute saying this is a shell corporation run by two guys who work for a consulting firm that consults on all kinds of things that don't want the silver price to go up. So then you get to, okay, who are the members? Who are the people supporting the Silver Institute? If you want to shut down the Silver Institute, I would rather them report real numbers. Let's talk to the members of the Silver Institute and say, hey, go to the Silver Institute and say, what the hell are you doing? Solar was up 73%. 73% in 2023, and your numbers barely went up for silver. And they used more silver per watt, per panel. Here are the names of the companies. A-Mark. Yes, we all know A-Mark if you're a retail silver investor. A-Mark supports the Silver Institute. A-Mark can go, that means they give them money. They can say, hey, Silver Institute, what the hell is going on with your silver numbers? They're all wrong, and they change every year. ABC Bullion, Andean Precious Metals, Asahi Refining, USA, Avino Silver and Gold Mines. Hey, if you're a shareholder of some of these companies, call up management, call up customer service and say, hey, why are you a member of the Silver Institute when they're not reporting the real numbers? And they're literally obfuscating the truth for the rest of the world. The world uses the Silver Institute numbers to say, hey, part-time investor, here's what's going on with silver. And they are not telling the truth, and they have been lying for a very long time, especially since the start of the solar revolution 3 or 4 years ago. Every year it's going up 50%, 75% last year. And yet the amount of silver that the Silver Institute says is being used is tiny. They are lying. Beijing GS Digital, Brinks, If you store, call up these companies and you use them, especially if you use Brinks for storing your metal, and say, hey, is my metal even there? Well, if it is there, then why are you supporting the Silver Institute? Or have them, better yet, call the Silver Institute and say, get your shit together. Start reporting real numbers. Quarterly mining. These mining companies I have been screaming at since 2010 when they kicked me out of the Silver Summit for saying, all you guys in mining companies, all you CEOs are letting your industry down by not screaming about the manipulation. Everybody knows silver's manipulated now. It was obvious back then. I gave a presentation, everybody agreed with me, but they didn't like that I said, hey, it's the people in charge of the industry that need to stand up and do something. Bravo to Keith Neumeyer for putting together mining companies, writing a letter to say, hey, put us on the on the most critical list of the metals for Canada. That's all you can do, really? It's been 14 years since I gave that speech. They kicked me out. Well, Bix, we can't ask you. You can come in as a participant, but we can't have you speak. Some of the mining companies got very upset at you calling them out for not supporting their industry. And here we are, 14 years later, and the price of silver is exactly the same because the CEOs of these mining companies, of entities involved in silver, the silver business. A-Mark should be screaming about this. All these people should be screaming about misreporting in silver supply and demand numbers, massive misreporting, but mainly manipulation of the price of silver. The price of silver is being suppressed. If you can't see that, you're either a shill for the banksters like Jeff Christian, or you're just dumb. And if you're dumb, get out of the business. Stop running that silver mining company. Stop running that silver retail sales company. You need to stand up for your industry. Endeavor Silver Mining, Fresnillo, Gatto Silver, Glencore. That's Mark Rich's company. They're not going to listen to what you say. They're probably the number one most criminal silver riggers in the world, always have been. But they rig oil. Silver rigging for them is like child's play. This is Mark Rich's company, Glencore, Mark Rich. Read Metalman, you'll understand who Mark Rich is. Hecla Mining, Hochschild Mining. That's absolutely royal family type of riggers. Industrias Pinoles, Mag Silver, Pan American. If you own shares in these companies, call up the company and say, what are you doing? Why aren't you screaming about, number one, manipulation, but number two, why are you a member of the Silver Institute if the Silver Institute does nothing but hurt the price of silver? I talked to the head guy at the Silver Institute. He said, Bix, you'll be real happy. We have a report coming out in June or July of next year, of 2024. I'm like, what are you talking about? You should have been screaming about silver production in 2023, halfway through the year. They have demand growing at 1% for 2024. When I can tell you right now that just in solar, it's going to grow 50 to 100%, probably closer to 100% if the prices stay below $30. Silver Bullion, Silver Corp, Sunshine Minting. I've talked to them. Sunshine Minting, we got to call them up. I mean, I love what they try to do. But if the U.S. Mint can't get silver blanks from Sunshine Minting, when they, by law, have to pay the most for, they have to outbid everybody else for silver blanks, and Sunshine Minting can't produce them, is the excuse they say. And the Sunshine Mint kind of helps them do it. They did great last year. They did better when we screamed. But now the U.S. Mint is again, I haven't looked at the Mint figures today, but as of yesterday, 850,000 Silver Eagles were made in February. That's like 1/5 of what they should be doing and can do and did last year. Ventures Gibson is criminally liable for this, if you ask me. And she'll just say, well, we do what we're told. Well, who were you told by, and why aren't you questioning them? This is the United States of America. You have destroyed the U.S. Mint, one of the best mints on the planet a few years back. As soon as Ventures Gibson came in, she went to the head of Silver Eagle sales and said, stop selling Silver Eagles. And he's like, I can't do that. I have customers. Okay, sell a minimum amount. That's where they are again. Sell a minimum amount of Silver Eagles. Oh, by the way, if you guys aren't loading up on physical silver right now, I can't tell you what the issue is. You should be absolutely loading up. Remember, a year and a half back, something like that, and I was traveling around on the road show, and Andy Scheckman got that $50 million order for Silver Eagles. And, this was at massive premiums. Why isn't that person, or is that person, well, they probably can't because the U.S. Mint isn't making them, but why aren't they doubling down, tripling down? If you wanted to buy them at, 75% premiums, why wouldn't you buy them today when the premiums have become manageable? They're still way too high. The U.S. Mint is illegally increasing the price of Silver Eagles to make a profit, which is illegal under the Silver Eagle law. So more Sunshine Mint, let's see, Wheaton Precious Metals, all these companies that support the Silver Institute means they give them money, are giving money to an institution, a shell institution, that is completely anti-silver. So I would say don't dump them. Don't dump the Silver Institute. Demand that they report the correct numbers. No matter how embarrassing it looks for the past 20 years that you've been doing it. Demand that they publish the correct numbers. Demand that Metal Focus publishes the correct numbers. Because it's not 180 million ounces of physical silver used in solar last year. Jeffrey Christian just told us that. Huge, way overproduction. This year's going to suck because last year was way overproduction. So you have to include these numbers. You can't come in at next year and say, oh, there was an overproduction and not count the first year and change your numbers again. This is shocking admission by Jeff Christian again. Anyway, keep an eye on Jeff Christian. He always drops little nuggets of goodness. Anyway, very interesting delivery month on the Comex. No, it's not like what it was in the past because they don't have enough silver, but it is a fairly decent sized delivery we're looking at least 22 million. I think they can. There's ways to get around this, but the first day of issuance, everybody played today, and guess who was the big supplier of silver again, which has been true all year? HSBC, 1,000. So there was a total of 2,858 contracts, which is just under 15 million ounces, stood for delivery. Now, remember, we all wonder, who are these shorts? Who are these shorts? The people who are delivering were the shorts. HSBC. You want to see what HSBC has done all year? Deliver. Look at December, 1,800 contracts, 567 contracts. All HSBC's customer, quote customer, could be BlackRock. Who knows who it is? But they're the ones who are the back end of that JP Morgan, Bank of America silver lease, I believe. Because who's taking all the silver? You guessed it. The criminal all criminals, JP Morgan Chase, took 2,000, almost 2,000 contracts right here. Took delivery of 1,916 contracts of the 2,858. JP Morgan Chase. Yes, the same JP Morgan Chase that got busted for rigging the silver market. And the same JP Morgan Chase that is the custodian of SLV. The same JP Morgan Chase that is currently under investigations, shall we say, for double counting inventories. SLV and Comex, they're the same inventory. And the other big player on the delivery side, there was two, HSBC and, of course, Bank of America Securities. We all know Bank of America because of the silver lease that they leased over 1 billion ounces. Now, if you bust the Hunt brothers for rigging the silver market and they had 100 to 100 million ounces of silver and then 100 million ounces of futures contracts, physical silver and futures contracts, and then JP Morgan's allowed to have billions of ounces of physical, billions of ounces of derivatives attached to them on the Comex and the OTC market, and you scratch your head, hey, I'm the regulator. I don't really understand how the silver market's rigged. I don't understand why the silver price is less than 50% of its all-time high from 1980. 1980. It's just insane. And then I saw this. Rural America is set to be transformed by up to 55 million acre federal solar plan. This is a lie. This is a lie. Solar energy's appetite for vast amounts of land has prompted the Biden administration to propose designing as much as 55 million acres of public land as potential sites for industrial-scale solar farms. What they're doing, they're locking up mining areas. Look where all these solar farms... It's not like the sun doesn't go other places. It's all on the West Coast. These are all massive mining areas. Obviously, all up and down the eastern part of Southern California. This is where Dianne Feinstein locked up everything in the Desert Wildlife Reserve. This is where Chocolate Mountain is, massive amounts of gold. This is not about solar. First of all, just the thought of the United States putting in massive amounts of solar panels, there is no silver for it. But the interesting thing is, so they want 55 million acres to put in 25 gigawatts by 2025. Now, 25 gigawatts would be, what is that? Maybe 12 million ounces of silver. It's not a massive amount of silver. And it's also not a massive amount of gigawatts. So it's like, why do they need 55 million acres for just 25 gigawatts? And then you look at it and you say, oh, wait, this isn't about solar. This is about look at all the Idaho mining areas. This is about mining. All these are like right along mountain ranges. That's where you find a lot of gold and silver, right in there in California, right in the Three Corners in the Grand Canyon area, the Arizona part. Yeah, we're going to put solar panels in. But how much solar do you really need to electrify America? How about 100%? How about this guy Elon Musk, who told us just recently, running U.S. solar requires 100 square miles of panels. Last year, Elon Musk promised to fix South Australia's power problem with a giant rechargeable battery. This year, he's building that battery, which will count as the world's largest once it's installed. Now Musk has turned his attention to the U.S. and believes it's easily possible to power all of the U.S. using solar panels. And he says to power all the U.S. using solar panels, all you need is 100 square miles. 100 square miles. So I had to pull out the converter because the Bureau of Land Management is saying you need 55 million acres just for 25 gigawatts. And I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Musk says all you need is 100 square miles to power all of the United States. So I did a converter of 100 square miles to acres, and for 100 square miles, he's looking at 64,000 acres. So the difference between 64,000 acres and what the Bureau of Land Management says, 55 million acres? Hello, New York. This is not about solar. This is insane. This is a lockup of mining territories, mining areas, change the zoning so that when the shit falls apart, mining is going to be crazy. And it's probably, these will all be owned by the U.S. government, obviously. So they're looking, the Bureau of Land Management, BLM, manages a lot of just empty land for the people of the United States. It's the people's property. If you're in an RV, you can go on BLM land anytime you want because that's your property. So if they lock this up in solar areas, you no longer can go there. Interesting. But that's the state of the world. Anyway, I got to get on the phone with Jenny Moonstone. I'm buying Theta at under $2. I was buying it under $1. I was buying it under 10 cents. Right now, under $2 seems like a good place to buy if you don't have any or if you want to get some extra. The future of Theta is unbelievable. Somebody sent me an email, and this happens a lot. Those people who rode Theta up from 5 cents to $15 or bought it $15 and then saw it go down to back to 50 cents, and now they're seeing it go up again and wondering, when should I sell? Got this message from a very good Roto-Rooter customer. How far do you think our Theta girl will get during this current bull run? I know Michelle White Dove said between 2,000 and 4,000. per Theta token, but I'm not sure if that will be this bull run. It's the wrong question. Here was my answer. Higher. I have no idea how high it'll go, but I'm sure there will be more massive crypto pullbacks before the fiat system ends. It may be 6 months or 6 years, but the only way to win is to hodl through it all. 2024 will be the Theta year with the rollout of decentralized cloud storage. This is a global game changer for all big tech companies. Google is teaming up with Theta because they know that the Theta cloud storage will replace their cloud storage system. Amazon cloud storage will follow. Watch for NVIDIA to try to partner with Theta in AI computing, as more edge nodes will blow away Theta's capacity and blow it out of the water. Basically, I don't care about any short-term price movements. Theta will be in the top 5 crypto tokens in a matter of months or a few years. That's my take. All the best. P.S. I think Michelle Whitedove greatly underestimated the Theta price when it becomes fully operational. There you go. So yeah, $2 Theta, I don't care. $20 Theta, I don't care. I know what Theta is going to be in the future. I know how important AI, Web 3.0, all that stuff, the Internet of Things, none of it works without Theta now. Theta has put themselves so that they have computing power at the source where it's needed. They have storage, web cloud storage at the source where it's needed with 10,000 nodes. And when Samsung or Sony downloads, let's just say 1 million, or let's say 500 million smart TVs, computers, at some point it will be on your phone. You can run a Theta edge node. When that happens, it's game over. Everybody on the planet will be earning T-Fuel and understand just how big Theta was. It reminds me of the early days of the World Wide Web. 1990, my friends came to me and said, hey, we're going to invest in these companies with this new thing called the World Wide Web. And I had a pretty good banking job at the time. They say, come on with us. We're all going to work for these companies, and this is the future. And I said, no, are you kidding? I got a much better job than you guys have. Why would I do that? They all retired within a few years. How big was the World Wide Web? I had promised myself since then I wouldn't miss another one. Theta is that. Theta is the World Wide Web of the future of AI. AI does not work unless you have massive computing power at the source, massive storage capabilities at the source of. You can't store data in Nevada when you need instant data. Like, think of cars driving themselves. Instant data. You need that computational power. It doesn't work without a massive global network of computing power and storage capabilities. The closer to the site, the better. And that's what Theta invented. And it's a software that will be downloaded on every computer on the planet at some point. Right now, they're doing it organically. I kind of know why, but I've been in it so long. I'm like, come on, just download the damn program. Come on, Samsung. You got, millions of smart TVs out there that could be running a Theta edge node in the background, earning your customers T-Fuel. And, oh, by the way, you're expanding broadband. Oh, by the way, and you're assisting in AI and decentralized computation, decentralized cloud storage. Come on. Theta Labs rarely talks about this. They did in the early days. You have partners in Google and Samsung and Sony and so many others that we don't even know about yet. Leverage them up. If you want, or Google, hey, you want the superiority of you don't want to pay for these massive server farms to store all this data in your cloud. Why not have everybody share their hard drive? It's done with sharding, so no single computer has all the information. It's amazing technology. Anyway, yes. So basically what I'm saying is I'm not going to sell Theta when it hits $2, $10, $20, $100. It's kind of like silver. I'm not going to sell silver until the market rigging stops. I'm not going to sell Theta until they are fully implemented with all their programs that they're going to do. And then the world knows about it. And then, to me, the time I'll think about selling Theta for something else is after the mother of all downloads. After every computing device on the planet that has the capability is running a Theta edge node to share broadband, solve the broadband problem, the last mile problem, and to facilitate AI, to facilitate Web 3.0. It's just a no-brainer to me. I've been in this for so long. It's going to happen. And it's like you don't want to be a second too late. It's kind of like silver. I don't want to be sitting there thinking about when am I going to invest in silver, crying about, oh, silver went down 50 cents or silver went up 50 cents, when I know at some point the manipulation will end. And when it does, 170 years of manipulation is going to skyrocket silver into the thousands of dollars. But I'm not, even with silver, I'm not looking at the price. The price is a joke. The price is rigged. What I'm looking at is the gold-silver ratio. And at 90 to 1, are you kidding me? People are playing the Theta T-fuel ratio right now, just like last time. If you're a trader, you should have seen what happened last time. Theta runs up, and then T-fuel runs up. Look at T-fuel in the last 7 days. Look at that. Up 44% in the last 7 days. Is it manipulation? Of course it is. But all markets are rigged. So, yeah. Theta got its day. We'll see what happens going forward. Bitcoin is rolling right now. Up at $62,000. Poor Snippy's out. That's why I'm screaming. You can't be a trader if you want to increase your wealth. Snippy's out of all his cryptos. I don't think all of them, but most of them. It's sad. He's worked how many years on this? And he outthunk himself. At least so far. He expected a big crash. And I was like, if we do get a big crash, or when we get a big crash, nothing will be open, so you won't be able to buy any cryptos. There'll be no exchanges open when the big crash happens. Win-win, lose-lose. Anyway. This is the mortgage maturities that got a lot of them rolled over from last year. Now 2024, second half is like, holy crap. See, 2023, everybody tried to roll them over because interest rates are going down, but they haven't gone down. So the pain that was supposed to be happening in 2023 now is looking at 2024. And I don't think they're going to be, if they want to keep the system together, they won't be dumping rates until there's a financial crash or collapse or whatever. So keep an eye on that. We are currently giving away 10 Theta, 100 Theta fuel, and 1,000 T-drop. You do the math. If Michelle White Dove is correct, this is a nice little nest egg for you in the future. These are for a private road subscription. 1 year subscription is $299. You get all the behind-the-scenes info. I am talking with Jenny. I'm late for it, so I got to go. Great stuff. We're going to talk about Fonnie Willis and silver, and, of course, we're going to be talking about Theta and what her projections are on that. So really fun stuff over at the private road at Road-Rooter. Go check it out. I'll talk to you later.
Here's a true story about a man just like you. He worked his whole life, he was honest and true. Built up a nest egg the way they said to. Invest in the market, money works for you. And everything is fine, picking the winners every time. Started to believe he can make dollars out of dime. Little did he know he's being primed for a fall. The riggers let you play, then the riggers steal the ball. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. Got to shut down exchanges, trade one for one. We want free markets, well, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. Capitalism, not as bad as they say. The world has never tried it, rigging markets every day. Socialists fail every time in every way. We need a better system to forge a better day. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. Free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. Crypto solution, if only done right. We can take out the liars, bring dark into light, and trust in the math, not the people who lie. I think we can make it if we give it a try. We want free markets, not a million phantom trades. Lest everyone's honest, we're gonna lose what we made. We gotta shut down exchanges till they trade one for one. We want free markets, our work's just begun. 'Cause free markets are the road to freedom. I said free markets are the road to freedom. Free markets are the road to freedom.